fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo silver. The Lone Ranger.
Another one.
Is he dead, Mr. Portis?
Not yet. Somebody get Doc Maloney. Let's get him down from here.
Well, shouldn't we wait for the doctor before we move him?
Now, don't tell me what to do. Take his head. Let's get him down. Now, you listen to me, J. Elston. 3 of my stagecoaches have been held up, and I've lost 2 men. I know who's responsible, and I demand that you do something about it.
We don't know any more about these holdups than we did the last time.
Only 2 people knew about that shipment, the president of the bank and me.
Are you accusing Mrs. Howard?
Sure I am. A woman's got no business running a bank.
Mabel's doing a fine job.
Well, if she's doing so good, how come there's a holdup each time there's a money shipment? How come she can't get anybody to work for her?
I work for her.
Well, that's what I mean. No real man would work for a woman. She had to hire you because no one else would work for her.
Why, you...
Hold on, Bill.
Oh, he'll hold on. He don't want that pretty face messed up.
Portis, you've been talking mighty loose for a man who can't prove anything.
Me and Mabel were the only 2 people that knew about that shipment. That means that one of us must have tipped off this outlaw.
Go on.
Well, I didn't do it. Either Mabel does a lot of talking when she's sending out one of these shipments, or else she's staging these holdups herself to collect the insurance.
You're mixed up, Mr. Portis. You're so prejudiced against me because I'm doing a man's job that you've confused fact with theory.
Well, that ain't so.
I could accuse you of giving information to that outlaw.
Why, if you were a man, I'd make you pay for that lie.
If I were a man, you'd think twice before calling me a liar. I assure you, Jay, I've told no one about this shipment. Not even Mr. Breck.
That's right, I didn't know.
Well, I didn't tell anyone.
Beats me. This hombre gets his information somewhere, holds up the stage, and disappears. Why not stop making the shipments for a while?
The mines in Copper Canyon have payrolls to meet. I'll make another shipment to replace this one.
Well, don't tell anybody about it but me, and we won't have any trouble.
I wish I could be sure of that. Come along, Mr. Breck.
Mrs. Howard. How can you be so calm about all this?
Oh, I wasn't calm. I felt like slapping his crooked face.
You certainly didn't show it.
Well, a lady learns to control her feelings, Mr. Breck.
You know, you're really wonderful.
I'm afraid you're the only one who thinks so. Everyone else resents my trying to prove that a woman can run a business.
You've already proved that.
I didn't want to tell them in there, but the insurance company canceled out 2 weeks ago, after the last holdup.
You mean this shipment was a total loss?
Oh, not to the bank. I'll cover with money my husband left me. But if there's another robbery, I don't know what we'll do.
And yet you're willing to risk another shipment?
I am. But this time I'm going to prove that John Portis is behind these holdups.
So you see, Tonto, these holdups threaten the welfare of this whole region. A bank failure would wipe out the life savings of every family in Clifton.
You know lady who run bank?
I've never met Mrs. Howard, but I understand she's a remarkable woman.
We never hear of lady running bank.
There's no reason why a capable, intelligent woman shouldn't do anything she wants to.
Shots from road.
Put out that fire.
Paper. Why, that stupid no-account buzzard.
No
No sign of passengers, Kemo Sabe. Driver hurt bad?
Well, he'll be all right, but we'd better get him to a doctor.
Me get strongbox, then drive him back to town.
Good.
Kemo Sabe.
What is it? What is it?
No money in the strongbox, only paper.
Paper? Well, you're right, Tonto. It is only paper.
Outlaw not have time to put paper in place of money.
No, he didn't.
Why somebody want to ship paper in strongbox?
I don't know. Perhaps the paper was substituted for the money before the stage left Clifton.
You think outlaws hold up stage to cover robbery in town?
Well, that's possible. We'd better not jump to conclusions. We'll put the driver in the stagecoach, and while you drive it back to town, I'll try to follow the bandits' trail.
Ah.
Talk to Mrs. Howard, the owner of the stage line. See if you can find out when or how the money could have been taken.
Me do that.
I'll meet you back at camp later.
Ah.
What's that?
What happened?
Outlaw hold up stage. Driver wounded.
Where is he?
In coach, him need doctor.
Hey, boys, take him across the street to Dr. Maloney.
So they got him, too. I told you this would happen again, Jay. How long are we going to let this woman go on jeopardizing the whole town? The bank can't go on losing money forever.
No money lost.
What are you talking about? I loaded the strong box on this coach myself.
No money in the strongbox. Only blank paper cut same size as dollar bill.
You're crazy.
You look.
Why, there is nothing here but paper.
What happened to the money, Injun?
Me not know. We shoot at bandit who hold up stage. Him run away, but take nothing from strongbox.
You mean to stand there and tell me there never was any money in the box?
That's right, Sheriff. I baited the trap with paper.
Trap? What trap?
Mr. Portis, you're the only one besides Mr. Breck and myself who knew that we were making this shipment. But you didn't know that we substituted paper for money.
Why'd you do that?
Ask Mr. Portis to explain why a bandit would shoot a man for a worthless bundle of paper.
I don't have to explain anything.
Doesn't it prove that if someone is furnishing information about the payroll shipments, is Mr. Portis?
That's a lie. Don't you see she staged this thing to throw suspicion on me?
Then you admit it has thrown suspicion on you.
I don't admit anything.
I don't know what this does prove. Well, let's not discuss it here in the street. Come into the office.
I'll be glad to.
Come along, Injun. I want you to tell me just what happened. Give me a hand with the strong box.
You better go back to the bank. Keep an eye on things there.
Certainly, Miss Howard.
Say, got a match, mister?
Sure.
I want to talk to you.
Not here. Meet me behind the bank.
Thanks, mister.
What are you trying to pull? There was nothing but paper in that shipment.
I know that.
Then why didn't you tell me? I don't hold up stages just for exercise.
If the stage hadn't been held up, old Lady Howard would have suspected me. She and I were the only ones that knew that the shipment was phony.
So you sent me out to get shot at by the Lone Ranger.
The Lone Ranger?
That's right. Masked man, white horse, Indian pound. Who else could it have been?
Then we better lie low.
No, I've got a different idea. You know how to open the bank vault. Let's make one big haul and clear out.
And spend the rest of our lives dodging the law? Don't be a fool. Nobody has anything on us. If the masked man is going to suspect somebody, it'll be John Portis, not us. If we run for it now, we're liable to be in real trouble.
There's something in that.
Sure there is. And don't worry about the Lone Ranger. If we have to, we can handle him. I'll see you later.
Right.
You got back early. How was the driver?
Him be all right.
Good. What did you learn about the robbery?
There no robbery this time. Mrs. Howard sent fake money shipment.
Oh, why would she do that?
Stage line owner named Portis. Him say Mrs. Howard responsible for holders. Her say him responsible. Send fake money shipment to trick him. Portis say him framed.
Are they the only ones who knew about the shipment?
Man at bank know about fake shipment. Mrs. Howard not tell him about others.
I see.
You able to follow Bandit's trail?
No, but I discovered something that may be useful. Where the outlaw waited for the stage, I found 2 cigarette butts.
Plenty men smoke, Kemo Sabe.
But not while wearing a bandana mask. If the bandit took off his mask to smoke, then he could have been recognized.
You think somebody see him?
A certain old prospector is going to pretend that he saw him.
Prospector?
I'm going to use a disguise. Has there been any reward offered for the capture of this outlaw?
$5,000, but you're not interested in reward, Kemo Sabe.
I'm not, but the old prospector is going to set a trap by asking for an even larger reward. While I'm putting on my disguise, I'll explain.
Howdy there, young feller. Kind of got you fenced in.
Just a moment, and I'll take care of you.
Well, I don't need to be taken care of. I want to see the man who runs this bank.
Mrs. Howard is busy.
Mrs. Howard? You mean to say that a female bosses this outfit?
Yes.
Well, I don't cotton to that kind of foolishness. Woman's got no business being in business.
You're entitled to your opinion.
But I'm not narrow-minded. Now, you tell Miss What's-Her-Name that I'll see her.
You don't seem to understand. Mrs. Howard doesn't want to see you.
When did she say that?
Well, she didn't exactly say that. I'm sure she's
Just as I thought. Mrs. Howard! Hey, Mrs. Howard!
fool.
Mrs. Howard!
Be quiet, you fool.
What in the world?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Howard. I told him you wouldn't see him.
You run this bank?
Yes, I do.
Then maybe you'd like to know who's been stealing your money.
Well, what are you talking about?
Do you know anything about these holdups?
Yep, seen the one you had this morning. And given the right kind of cooperation, I could identify the owl hoot what done it.
Well, he's always Rucker. The driver and the Indian both said the bandit wore a bandana mask.
Well, supposing I seen him before he put up his bandana.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, he didn't have nothing covering his face when he sat there behind them rocks smoking a cigarette waiting for the stage.
You saw his face?
I couldn't help but see his face if it weren't covered.
You better get the sheriff.
Wait. I want to talk to you, lady, not the sheriff.
But if you can identify this man, you should...
I'll identify him when the time comes, but right now I want to talk about the reward.
The reward?
Yep. Catching this feller ought to be worth more than a puny 5,000. Why, you and that feller that owns that stage line ought to be able to scrape up 10,000.
You're crazy. How do we know he's telling the truth? I wouldn't give him a cent.
Suit yourself. Be seeing you.
This is extortion.
I don't care what you call it, lady, as long as it adds up to $10,000.
All right. Wait here.
That's more like it. Why, she's a right nice lady. Well, now, we got all the money?
I sure have. Right here. Raise your hands.
Why, what's the idea?
I'm taking you to the sheriff.
Well, that's a dirty trick. I come here to help you, and you pull a gun on me.
You're going to do your duty as a citizen, whether you receive a reward or not.
Are you sure you can handle him alone, Mrs. Howard?
Quite sure. Close the bank, Mr. Brick. Our customers will understand.
Yes, ma'am.
The sheriff's office is right across the street.
Mike, somebody saw you hold up the stage.
You're crazy. There was nobody within miles of me.
Did you stop and smoke a cigarette while you were waiting for the stagecoach?
Sure, I had a couple, but what difference does that make?
An old galoot saw you having a smoke. He can identify you.
Where is he?
Mabel took him down to the sheriff's office. You'll have to get out of town.
And leave all that dough in the bank vault.
Don't be a fool. The minute he sees you, you're a goner.
Dead man's never identified anybody yet. Just point him out to me.
That's too risky.
While I'm taking care of him, you take care of the bank vault. We're both skipping town.
If I run away, that's a confession of guilt.
So you're guilty. I'm pulling out and the money in that bank goes with me.
I thought we were going to play it safe.
Breaking the law is never safe. If you're a rich crook and we split the dough, or you're a two-bit bank clerk and I take all of it. Now make up your mind.
All right, I'll get the money.
Good. Let's go down to the sheriff's office and wait for the old galoot to come out.
I'm already paying half the reward that's been offered. I'm not paying another cent.
You know, I reckon I'm just wasting my time.
Sit down. If you don't stop this dilly-dally, I'll slap you in jail for withholding evidence.
Sheriff, if you put me in jail, I won't even lift a little finger to help you catch that owl hoot. Now I'm going.
Not yet, you don't.
Don't you understand? You could put yourself in a dangerous position. If that bandit finds out that you saw him, he'll try and kill you.
How'll he know unless one of you tell him? Now, I don't want to be too hard on you folks. I'll give you till tomorrow to raise that money.
Not so fast, old-timer.
Well, I don't have that kind of money. Can't you do something?
Well, I can hold him under protective custody or jail him for vagrancy.
I don't know what them words mean, but you better not try it. Oh, sit down. I'm tired of sitting. I want to stand for a spell. And I want my $10,000.
Perhaps we can raise the money.
Now, you're talking?
Well, in the meantime, what about him?
Don't you worry about me. You just worry about getting me that money at 10 o'clock tomorrow.
You better stay here in jail where you'll be safe.
I ain't aiming to stay in your old jail. I found me a little shack on the other side of town that just suits me fine. Be seeing you.
You'll be careful.
Lady, with $10,000 waiting for me, I'll be as careful as a fat man crossing a footbridge. I'll see you folks tomorrow.
There he goes.
Good. Get the money out of the bank vault and meet me back at my place.
As soon as we're rid of the old man, why can't we just lie low? Nothing will have changed.
Nothing except the Lone Ranger being here. When he's on your tail, it don't pay to hang around after a killing. Get going. This won't take long.
Drop gun. You hear me? Drop gun.
Sure, I'll drop it.
What happened, Tonto? Did he jump you?
Him plenty quick.
Who is he?
May not know, but him try to shoot you.
Yes, he walked right into our trap. As soon as we tie him up and I get rid of these whiskers, we'll ask him a few questions. Get his feet.
Don't raise your voice, Mrs. Howard.
Mr. Bragg.
Just do as I say and you won't be hurt. Over by the desk.
I don't understand.
Isn't it rather obvious?
How did you open the vault?
I worked out the combination several months ago. By checking the vault, I knew when you were preparing to make a payroll shipment.
Then you were behind these holdups.
That's right.
And I trusted you. You're going to bankrupt an entire community just so that you can get...
That's enough, Mrs. Howard. Over by the door.
Well, where are you taking me?
To a place where you'll be safe until I can get out of town. Go on.
I don't know what you're talking about. And even if I did, I still wouldn't tell you anything.
I suspect you refuse to talk because if you did, you'd hang for murdering those drivers.
Suspect anything you want. It's a free country.
Who tell you about payroll shipment?
Oh, this is getting tiresome.
You're a tough hombre, aren't you?
I'm tough enough not to be scared of you.
Maybe him not so tough, Kemo Sabe.
Don't try and bluff me. I know who you are.
You do?
Yeah, and I never heard of the Lone Ranger torturing or killing anybody.
I see. Well, we'll have to use him for bait.
Bait?
Gag him, Tonto.
Hey, what's the idea?
When we spread the news that you've been captured, your accomplice will want to keep you quiet. He may even kill you. Come on, Tonto. Let's follow through with the rest of our plan.
What's wrong?
That old galoot turned out to be the Lone Ranger in disguise.
What? What's she doing here?
She came in while I was emptying the vault. I had to bring her along with me.
Well, at least that was smart.
Where's the money?
Right here. I just finished packing the money we got from the stage holdups. And the horses are out and back.
Give me your gun.
What are you going to do?
She can identify me, can't she?
Well, what difference does it make? People know it was us that took the bank money anyway.
They'll know about you, but they won't know about me.
What?
You wanted to play it safe, so I took all the risk. Well, now it's the other way around.
What do you mean?
Every lawman in the country's going to be looking for you because you worked at the bank. But they won't have anything on me. You see, pretty boy, you weren't as smart as you thought you were.
You planned it this way.
Right from the beginning. Now shut up and let's get this over.
No!
Don't tempt me, pretty boy. I could shoot you and take all the money.
You wouldn't.
What's to stop me?
All right, go ahead.
That's better. It's been nice meeting you, Mrs. Howard.
Raise your hands, both of you. Untie Mrs. Howard. All right, get over here by your friend.
How'd you get here?
We followed you.
But you went into town.
We let you think that. We wanted you to escape and lead us to your accomplice. That's why Tonto left his knife.
It was a trick.
That's right. Somehow or other, the law always catches up with men like you.
I guess I kind of owe you an apology, Mabel. I'm sorry I said those things about you and about women in business.
In a way, you're right, John. I'm the one who hired Breck, and I should have been more careful.
Boy, had us all fooled.
Well, he'll never fool anybody again. Him and his gunslinging pal are going to stand trial for their crimes.
Thanks to the masked man.
Yeah, you know, that's what I don't understand. The masked man captures those crooks, but he wouldn't take the reward.
Of course he wouldn't.
Well, that don't make sense.
Oh, yes, it does. He's the Lone Ranger.
Ho, Bill!